Alright guys, so welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well today. So in today's video, I want to quickly give you guys an update on what is happening with Bitcoin right now, because Bitcoin right now, guys, is actually dropping further down to the downside, okay, compared to where it was early this morning. Now, early this morning, I believe Bitcoin was in fact around $29,500. Okay, so 29,500. But as of right now, you guys clearly see it is in fact slightly dropping further down to the downside. Okay, so right now it's currently at 29,200. Okay, so 29.2. So Bitcoin right now, guys, is in fact dropping further down to the downside. And earlier this morning, we did in fact see the market dropping, but it's dropping even more slightly. So right now, overall, the market's down 0.30%. And you guys clearly see altcoins, okay, are in fact dropping a bit more than where it was this morning. So a lot of altcoins for the past 24 hours are in fact dropping. You guys can see Polygon is down a whopping 8%, Solana's down 5%, Cardano 4%, Dogecoin back down at 6 cents. Okay, now it's down 6%. So yeah, you guys can clearly see a fair few altcoins are in fact dropping. Avalanche, AVAX is down 6%. Chainlink still down 5%, now below $7. So yes, guys, a fair few altcoins are in fact dropping. Okay, whereas Bitcoin is in fact slightly dropping, but not as much as altcoins. So in today's video, guys, okay, I do in fact want to show you guys a fair few charts, okay, that might actually show you guys and indicate that Bitcoin could actually drop further down to the downside. Now, I have been mentioning this many times. If you go to the daily time frame right here, if we really zoom out, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin has not been moving for pretty much almost 2 months. We know that, right? It's been stagnant. It's been pretty much consolidating. It's been hovering between, I want to say, $31,000 to 30K, and of course $29,000 for almost 2 months. Okay, and this is not the first time that we have seen Bitcoin do something like this, right? Bitcoin, we know it's it doesn't really move. Okay, we know it's obviously a very, very volatile asset, right? But we know Bitcoin, this is not the first time that we have seen Bitcoin consolidate for this long. If we go to the weekly time frame, and if we actually go back to, like, let's just say November to December, for pretty much 2 months, guys, okay, at this time back last year in 2022, just recently, we were in fact at Bitcoin's bottom during this time. Bitcoin was pretty much consolidating. And remember, guys, Bitcoin wasn't really moving. It was pretty much stuck at like 16K. And at one point, yes, we saw it go all the way down to around 15K. Just remember that, guys. And yeah, this is not the first time that we have seen Bitcoin consolidate for a long period of time. This has happened many, many times. Okay, so it's nothing too new. But I'm telling us right now, okay, we could actually potentially see Bitcoin drop further down to the downside. Now, I told you guys many times, okay, if we actually see Bitcoin drop further down to the downside, it's not going to drop to like a very low price. It could potentially drop to like 28 to 27 to maybe even 26, maybe, right? I don't even think Bitcoin, we will in fact see Bitcoin drop to like $25,000. That's just my personal opinion, okay? Because I don't think this is the time right now for Bitcoin to see a major, crash back down to the downside. But, nothing is impossible. It is in fact possible, but all I'm saying is just very, very unlikely for Bitcoin to do that, right? To have a major crash back down to the downside, okay? Because, we know the next bull market is in fact about to happen. And of course, we know, we have already seen a Bitcoin hit bottom, which was all the way down here, okay? Couple of months ago when Bitcoin was in fact like at 15K, and at some points it was in fact at 16K. And then just recently, pretty much at the beginning of this year in 2023, we saw Bitcoin having some pumps. We saw a pump right there. Okay, we saw a massive pump right up here as well. We did in fact see a pump right here as well a couple of months ago. And right now, Bitcoin's just pretty much consolidating right there. So clearly, we have already reached bottom right there. And Bitcoin is in fact forming a new pattern up to the upside, right? So I've been mentioning that many times. Like in Bitcoin history, there's no way in hell we have seen Bitcoin go all the way back down to its previous lows. I don't think that has ever happened for Bitcoin, right? So that's why I always tell you guys, this is pretty much the early stages of the next bull market. But there is in fact a fair few charts that I want to show you guys and point out, okay, that we could actually see Bitcoin drop all the way back down to maybe, I don't know, $26,000. Maybe, I don't know, guys. Okay, but this is a chart right here. So it says here that the longer we stay down here on the Bitcoin, wait, what does it say here? The longer we stay down here on BTC without bouncing, the more and more I feel like we might be due for a soul-crushing macro pullback similar to 2019. Okay, so this is what it says right here, and it's actually pretty interesting. This is actually very important. That I actually saw this on Twitter. So shout out to this person right here because he actually made a good point, because this did actually happen back in 2019. So in 2019, guys, Bitcoin did in fact, create a low, and then we saw it actually pump up to the upside, and then it did in fact slowly go back down to the downside, had a little pump, and then it just dropped massively back down to the downside. So we could potentially see that happen again for Bitcoin during this time, right? So we could potentially see Bitcoin drop further down to the downside. And I've been mentioning many times that yes, this is very, very possible, guys. But I don't think, personally, right, I just don't think we're going to see Bitcoin drop like below 20K ever again. I don't even think we're going to see Bitcoin at like 20K ever again in Bitcoin history. That is just my personal opinion, right? So I think if Bitcoin were to have a crash, it's going to crash lowest, maybe even $26,000. I think that's the lowest point for Bitcoin to go down, right? If it were to have, another crash. So that's just my personal opinion. We could potentially see the same thing what happened in 2019. Okay, we could be seeing another pullback, a major pullback. So we will see, guys. But yeah, history does sort of repeat itself. But understand, guys, what Bitcoin is doing right now, okay, it is in fact forming a slight downtrend. We know that, right? It broke its support at $30,000 a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so now it's back down at 29K. But understand, this has happened many times, right? We saw Bitcoin, going down very, very slowly right at this time right here, back in April, right? Forming this sort of like this very slow downtrend. And then all of a sudden it had a pump up, right? Even back in February, right? We saw Bitcoin slowly having this very slow downtrend as well. You guys clearly see that. And then had a very massive pump up, right? So we could potentially see the same thing right now, and it looks pretty similar, right? So Bitcoin is in fact forming a very slow downtrend right now. Okay, it broke support, now it's slowly going back down, and we could potentially see Bitcoin rise back up, having another leg up. And I've been mentioning that many times. No one really knows where Bitcoin's going to be heading, but personally, yes, we could potentially see Bitcoin have another retest back down to the downside, but I think it's all ups from here. Okay, I really do believe in that, guys. Okay, so that's just my personal opinion. So this is actually a very, very good point, right, that this person has made, right? It comes in the bigger picture. You look at Bitcoin in the bigger picture, where it could potentially go, in the next few weeks, right? Because Bitcoin has to do something. It cannot, consolidate forever, right? It cannot, stay stagnant forever, guys. It has to do something. Either it will pump or it will drop, right? Have a dump. So we will see. But yes, guys, Bitcoin right now is nearly about to cross below the primary uptrend line that began at the start of 2023. So you guys clearly see at the beginning of 2023, we saw that's when Bitcoin really, really pumped up. Okay, and then had a drop, and then it pumped again. And then, like I said, it had a very slow downtrend right here. It then had another leg up to the upside. Right now, Bitcoin is sort of consolidating and slightly going back down to the downside. So Bitcoin right now is pretty much touching this primary uptrend line. And if Bitcoin breaks below this primary uptrend line, right, it's going to be some bad news, because we might actually most likely see Bitcoin drop further down to the downside if it breaks this uptrend line, right, that we have in fact been seeing. But so far, Bitcoin has in fact been, supporting this line for a very, very, very long time. You guys clearly see that's pretty much a support level for Bitcoin, right, this primary uptrend line. So we will see, guys. Okay, so we could actually see Bitcoin most likely pump up to the upside. That's personally what I see Bitcoin doing. Potentially next few days or few weeks. Like, Bitcoin has to do something very, very soon, guys. Right? That's what I want you guys to understand. Okay, so we will see. Okay, so right now it's literally just touching this primary uptrend line. So we're gonna see what happens with Bitcoin in the next couple of days or next upcoming few weeks, because I really do believe soon Bitcoin has to do something. Okay, it just has to do something very, very soon. Moving on. Let's get into sort of like the long term, where we see Bitcoin long term. Of course, long term. Okay, I've been talking about this many times, and we know where Bitcoin is heading long term. Of course, I'm talking about in the next upcoming few years, 2024, and of course 2025. We know Bitcoin is obviously about to enter the next bull market. Of course, we're about to have the next halving event for Bitcoin, and we all know what that means. That means, guys, Bitcoin will tend to pump a lot, right? Every single time we have the halving, that is where Bitcoin tends to pump the most, right? So Bitcoin right now is forming this triangular bottom, okay? That's what it's called. And you guys clearly see every single time Bitcoin forms this triangular bottom, okay, it does in fact have a move up to the upside. So you guys could see back in 2012, right here, you guys probably can't even see it because my camera's in the way, but right down here, we did in fact have that triangular bottom and Bitcoin pumped. And then back in 2018, we did in fact see that as well. Sorry, 2015, my bad. And then, obviously in 2017, we did in fact see Bitcoin pump. And then, of course, in 2019 to 2020, we did in fact see that as well. Another triangular bottom, and Bitcoin did in fact pump up to the upside. So right now, we are in fact seeing the same, pattern right now. Bitcoin is in fact forming a triangular bottom, which means we could most likely see Bitcoin pump up to the upside. And this is why I've been telling you guys many times. There's no way in hell we're going to see Bitcoin drop further down to like 20K, close to its bottom, right? That's never going to happen. It's never happened in Bitcoin history. Once Bitcoin reaches a bottom, it's going to, recover and reach back up to a new high. And that's exactly what we will in fact see for Bitcoin, in 2024, most likely, and of course, 2025, of course. Okay, so that's that. Now, yes, our bull run is in fact about to happen. Okay, the bear market is pretty much over. I wouldn't say we are in fact 100% out of the bear market just yet. We are still in bear conditions. Okay, even though yes, we hit bottom, you guys clearly see that Bitcoin's clearly forming a new pattern up to the upside. So yes, I will say we are in fact in the early stages of the next bull run of the next bull market. Bitcoin is in fact slowly recovering. We are in fact in the pre-halving event, right? So the halving is obviously about to happen very, very soon, right around the corner. So yes, it's all looking up from here, guys. And if you survived this bear market, guys, because I really do believe this bear market is one of the worst ones for sure, right? One of the worst bear markets ever, and the longest one for sure out of all the other bear markets that we have in fact been seeing for Bitcoin throughout the years. I believe this one is probably most likely the worst one, right? It really, really is. Okay, and it's the longest one. So if you survive this, you can literally survive anything, right? Like literally anything, guys. So congrats to you, because it's all going to be ups from here pretty much. The bull run is in fact about to happen. Now, what I really want to show you guys is this chart right here. Okay, 400K. Is that possible, right? Will we actually see Bitcoin break out and reach about $400,000 in the next bull market? Now, if you guys have in fact been watching my videos, I've been mentioning this many, many times. Personally, I see Bitcoin reaching at least 200K to 250K to maybe even $300,000. Now, 400K, personally, that is a big jump. And personally, guys, you guys know I love Bitcoin. I'm obviously a Bitcoin maximus. I'm not really a Bitcoin maximus because I also do, in fact, invest into other cryptocurrencies like crypto coins, right? When I'm investing into crypto, you guys know I also invest into Ethereum, Chainlink, Cardano, Polygon, XRP, right? And many more other, altcoins, right? But yes, my main investments and my biggest holdings is obviously Bitcoin. And since I love Bitcoin so much, I don't see Bitcoin reaching 400K as much as I want it. Like, I don't want to lie to you guys, you know what I mean? Like, as much as I want to see Bitcoin reach 400K, I don't think we will in fact see Bitcoin reach 400K in the next bull market. That is just my personal opinion, right? Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments below, like, what do you guys actually see Bitcoin reaching in the next bull market? Do you guys actually think we will in fact see Bitcoin reach 400K in the next bull market? Personally, I don't think that's possible, right? I think it's going to reach around 200K to 250 to maybe even 300K. And understand, guys, like, I don't even mention 100K to 150K because I know that's going to, easily happen for Bitcoin. We're easily going to see Bitcoin reach 100K to 150K. That's like easily gonna happen. That's why I don't even mention those prices. I straight away get into like 200k, because I see that happening for Bitcoin, right? So that's just my personal opinion. But you guys let me know in the comments below. Do you guys think we will in fact see a 400k Bitcoin in the next bull market? Let me know. I'd love to know, guys. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen. As much as I want it to, I don't think it's possible. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. Hey, if it does happen, that's going to be amazing. You know what I mean? That is going to be absolutely amazing for sure. Now, the Fingreed Index is still in neutral, just like yesterday and last week, even last month. Okay, I feel like the Fingreed Index has in fact been in neutral for quite some time. So it seems like investors are not quite sure how they feel. So they're sort of like in the middle. Okay, so right now it's coming out 52. Okay, so it's still pretty good. I don't mind being in neutral. It's better than being in fear mode or in extreme fear mode. We have in fact been seeing that a fair few bit, especially last year. So it's great to see this in neutral, I guess. But that being said, guys, everything's looking pretty good. Even though, yes, altcoins are in fact dropping, but Bitcoin and Ethereum is still holding up pretty well, but they are in fact slightly dropping. So we will see what's going to happen with a Bitcoin and, of course, the crypto market tomorrow morning. So, I will in fact obviously keep you guys updated for that. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. More videos will obviously be coming your way. So, guys, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet already. I really would appreciate that. And I catch you guys all in my next video. Have a blessed day, guys.